Hi there, today we're going to be creating a lesson for Day of the Dead. So this is a culture lesson, or El Dia de los Muertos, which is the celebration of life. It is a 2-day holiday that starts at the end of October and lasts for 2 days into November. So we're going to be creating something called a nicho, which is a type of shadow box. So it's a little three-dimensional box, and they're usually handcrafted with bright colors, and everything in them is usually handmade. They'll include things like pictures of loved ones. They'll have pictures of calavera, which is the skull, or a calaca, which is a skeleton. Maybe a sacred heart, pictures of candles, or marigolds. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to use a piece of paper that is folded in half. So we're going to fold it hamburger style so that we have plenty of room to create the little window and picture inside. So it's going to start by folding. After you fold it in half, you're going to fold the one side in half again and create a hole in the center. So just cutting into the paper to make that window. And when you're done, fold that piece of paper back over to the other side. And I took a pencil just to trace that window to make sure I knew where to draw my art piece. And so you can include any of those things that we talked about before. If you wanted to put a portrait of somebody inside your nicho, or if you wanted to use the calavera image, or the Sacred Heart, or the calaca, candles, marigolds. I have a few different samples in this video to give you some ideas. And of course you could look up images for a nicho that would work inside yours. So once you get the image drawn out, you can use a lot of bright colors. That's traditional folk art in Latin America, is to use bright, bold colors. And then we're also going to include a little bit of line design, since that's the element of art that we're kind of focusing on right now. So on the outside part, just see if you can add in various types of lines. Once you finish both parts of the nicho, then you will just put a small thin line of glue along the one edge. Gently pat that down. You don't want to over glue because you don't want to ruin your little window, but so make sure that it's a very thin line of glue along that edge. And then once it dries, you can stand it up and you can see your little three-dimensional shadow box called a nicho. All right, I'm going to walk you through just the first few steps of getting started with your nicho. So you're going to start with a piece of paper. It can be a colored piece of paper or white paper. If that's all you've got, that's fine. You're going to start by folding it hamburger. So match up your corners. Fold and press down. I always take a pencil or something to make sure that crease is nice and press down. And then we're going to fold this second part in half as well. I'm going to fold it into the paper. This is going to be the top. The same. Crease down. And I'm going to go ahead and make that little window. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space here. I don't want to go too far down. I want to make sure there's enough that this will stand up and it's nice and strong. So I'm just going to cut in. I'm going to leave the same amount of space over here too. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go to the other side and cut into this part right here. I'm going to leave a little bit bigger space at the top. Okay. just come in and I'm going to cut from the end of this cut to the end of this cut right here. Let's see. Cut a little bit crooked there, so let me straighten it up. Okay. So now I've created that little window for my picture. A lot of nichos have very ornate or scallops at the top, so you could leave it like this if you want, but you can also just cut like a little triangle at the top, or if you want to do something that's a little bit more decorated, you could kind of draw out the shape that you want cut out. So if I did something like this, okay, and then just cut that out so that both sides match. So now that I've got the top part done, I'm about ready to start on my image on the inside. So I want to make sure I know exactly where that is. So I'm just going to take my pencil and lightly trace this little frame. Whoops, I'm going to do a good job there. Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, so now I know exactly where I need to do my picture at. And I'm ready to start.